make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is reportedly set to face Devin Haney at 140. He accepts rehydration conditions and remains completely confident that his skills surpass every challenger.
So all of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. Yeah. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going?
Devin Haney insists the fight with Shakur Stevenson will happen, showing determination and commitment, making it clear he truly wants this bout.
Shakur still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think
you think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
We're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said, it's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights, which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But, yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make it happen.
Shakur Stevenson says he isn't afraid of Devin Haney, but Devin's team might falsely claim Shakur is intentionally avoiding the fight.
You mentioned Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is going to demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell.
Shakur Stevenson believes he is on another level, with no fighter capable of defeating him, while Devin cannot knock him out.
It's not like he's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing
to
make the fight.
But do you see it as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's going to be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is determined to prove himself, seeking to fight top opponents like Shakur Stevenson to establish his true greatness.
Those fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then if when the time is right, then, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all.
Bill Haney says they won't come down in weight, so anyone wanting a fight must move up to 140.
He didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? As far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that they've done.
He adds the bout can happen anytime the challenger is ready.
So we must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. They're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, we'll never do it. Obviously, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go somewhere.
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has the potential to surpass even Terrence Crawford in boxing history. Crawford is undoubtedly on the sport's Mount Rushmore, 5-weight division champion whose achievements are remarkable. However, Bradley feels Shakur, much like Crawford, possesses the talent and skill to rise even higher. He clarifies this isn't about matching Crawford's multiple undisputed titles or moving through numerous weight classes, but about the opportunities that weren't available to Crawford due to boxing politics at the time. Bradley points out that if figures like Turkey Alashik had been around during Crawford's climb, bridging gaps between promoters, big fights against opponents such as Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Yordenis Ugas could have happened earlier, boosting Crawford's prominence even further.
But I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming 3-time undisputed and, going up to, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. He already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you have guys like Turkey Alashik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, make these big fights.
With that in mind, Shakur is entering an era where talented fighters across 130 to 135 pounds are more accessible, giving him the chance to face top-tier opponents consistently. Names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, Oshaki Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and others populate Shakur's potential matchups. Bradley emphasizes that Shakur not only has the skills to compete with these fighters, but also the opportunity to defeat them, solidifying his legacy and potentially making him even greater than Crawford in influence and achievement.
Turkey was around when Crawford was on his climb. When Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters hovering around 135, 130, Guys like, Oshaki Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
There's a major obstacle in the way, but as you watch these two fighters compete, it's clear that, outside of cheating, they're highly unlikely to lose. With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur, and Shakur responds to Devin. This back and forth highlights the dynamic between top-level fighters. Initially, there was talk of the Four Kings 2.0, featuring Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing parallels to the legendary era of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
Devin Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose. Right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial Four Kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Tio, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0. From the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often overlooked in discussions of that era, defeated Roberto Duran, who struggled against several of the original Four Kings. Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard only once, was brutally knocked out by Hearns, outclassed by Hagler, and bested by Benitez. Despite these accomplishments, Benitez remains overshadowed. Similarly, fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. However, Stevenson has begun to shine through, particularly after dominating Teofimo Lopez. At the same time, Tank Davis's legal issues and reluctance to fight further highlight the challenges and opportunities that are reshaping the landscape of modern boxing.
We had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Tio, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Bernie Thawboxer reacts to the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney fight by highlighting the legacies and accomplishments of both fighters. Shakur is now a 4-weight world champion, a 2-time lineal champion, and a 2-time Ring Magazine title holder. He also became a 2-time unified champion at 130 pounds, having beaten high-level opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who always rises to the occasion.
After the fight, Conor Benn comes into the ring. They talk, have some words. But Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that, and now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for the...
Devin Haney, meanwhile, is a 3-weight world champion and was undisputed at one point. Bernie emphasizes that if Shakur wants to face Devin directly, he should do so without hesitation. Fighting Devin at his prime would leave no room for excuses and would ensure Shakur receives full credit for a monumental achievement. According to Bernie, both fighters are elite, but defeating Devin in his prime would further cement Shakur Stevenson's legacy as one of the best fighters of his generation, proving his skill, determination, and championship caliber ability.